You are listening to Organize with Grace with your host, Grace Ramon. Here I am. Yay! You know that moment when you're looking at your parents and it suddenly hits you? They're getting older. Yes, that happened to me recently. Don't get me wrong, my mom is still independent, doing her own errands, cooking her own food. She has time with friends and family and just living her very best life at this point. But one evening I noticed her sitting on her bed and it really hit home. Mom, if you're listening to this, I haven't told you this yet, but I'll tell you more about it. And it hit me that someday I'll be taking care of both her and my son. At the time of this recording, my son is 6 years old, and that is exactly what I wanted to chat about today. Getting ready for life in what people call the sandwich generation. Have you heard of that term before? Okay, here's the thing about being in the sandwich generation. Yes, like a peanut butter jelly sandwich. So it's way more than just helping your parents while raising your kids. It affects everything, your emotions, your wallet, your daily routine, all of it. And did you know that almost half of adults our age end up in the situation? But here's what I learned. We don't have to wait until we're stressed and overwhelmed to start to get ready. So before I continue, I want to explain real quick exactly what this term is. I do like to define things. I want to know what the heck I'm talking about, all right? And I want you to know too, in case. So the term sandwich generation was first coined by social worker Dorothy Miller back in 1981. She used to describe women in their 30s and 40s who were sandwiched between their young children and aging. If you were a part of the sandwich, you would be the meat or the lettuce. And the two pieces of bread would be your parent or parents, and then the other piece of bread would be your child or children. So the meaning evolved and expanded since then. Today, it typically and generally refers to middle-aged adults between the age range of 40s to 60s who are caring for their aging parents on one side and then their own children on the other. And then often managing their own career and life in between. That is the gist of what the sandwich generation term is all about. So according to some studies, recent studies, about 47% of adults in their 40s and 50s have a parent age 65 or older, while also raising their young child or financially supporting a grown child. As you're listening to this, are you identifying yourself in this group as well? For me, I feel like I'm in the pre-sandwich generation group because I know that I am like heading in that direction. What about you? Are you already in that life season? Or do you know someone who is and could use just a little bit of encouragement and a little bit of help? All right, now, how do you know if you're heading toward the sandwich generation? It's more than about your chronological age. It's more about what's happening in your life. So maybe you've noticed that you're starting to help your parents with the little things they used to do easily, like maybe home maintenance, upkeep. You're keeping a closer eye on how they're managing at home with their daily routine. And then you find yourself juggling your kids' stuff while worrying more and more about your parents. And that you're starting to think about what the future might look like. And that's great about spotting these signs early. We have time to get ready. And one really smart place to start, and it's a theme that is forever going to be about this podcast, even though it says Organize with Grace. I think it's really a lot more first decluttering with grace. but it is actually pretty simple. And it is helping our parents declutter their homes. When we help our parents sort through their stuff now, it does so much good. So think about this. Their home becomes safer and easier to navigate, and then future moves or changes won't be so overwhelming. Trust me on this. I've seen clients where they had to move literally in 1 week, and I just really felt for the parents as well as the children. It's pretty traumatic for everyone when it's like a sudden move that must be done because of safety issues. Another benefit is that it opens up natural conversations about the future. Everyone feels less stressed out about what's coming. And I really believe that they can also stay independent longer because their space works better for them. And starting with decluttering is like opening a door and maybe opening a little window if it's a tough topic to bring up. But it does open up the bigger conversations that we need to have. Planning for the future, estate planning, things like that. It's really a way to help right now while making things easier down the road. And I really believe in a lot of planning. Plus, it's something that you can do together, and they will feel like they have a voice in the decisions because it's their life, but at the same time, you're giving them the support that they need. And it makes it feel more like caring for them than managing. And I do hear from my clients that they don't want their children to have to deal with their stuff when they're gone. And honestly, I love that because as real as it sounds, the reality of them passing away and the reality of death, I still like to hear that because they are beginning to have an attitude of wanting to bless their kids rather than burdening them with stuff. Whether you are listening as an empty nester, whether you're listening as a senior or someone who is on the beginning part of the sandwich generation group like me, I'm hoping that this resonates with you. And this brings me to my excitement in telling you about this amazing event coming up next week called Chaos to Calm, happening January 13th through the 17th. It is headed up by Deanna Yates. She has been here on this podcast, and her podcast is called Wanna Be Clutter Free. And I am feeling so honored to be a part of her summit that is coming up next week. And whether you're already taking care of your parents and kids, or getting ready for it like me, or just want to help someone who is, you're going to love this. We've got some incredible speakers coming together, 35 plus women that you get to hear from, including myself, to share real practical advice about organizing and decluttering across generations. The topic that I'm going to be talking about is, ta-da, helping your parents declutter now instead of later. And I hope that you will get a chance to listen. And each session had been pre-recorded, so you can watch at any time throughout the week. And the best part about this is that it's free. It is free. All you have to do is sign up, and I'll tell you more about it in a little bit. For this summit, Deanna and I sat down to talk about how to help your parents declutter now instead of later. And we get into how to start that conversation without making them feel pushed around or as if you're taking over their life. And then providing you with some actionable tips on the timing of this conversation and what to say in this conversation. So all you have to do is click the link in the show description to sign up. And trust me, you'll want to hear what these experts have to share. And if you decide to sign up for the VIP pass, where you get to keep all of these wonderful teachings and recordings and a bunch of amazing freebies, then you can purchase it for $97 by using that same link. And I would love for you to do that. I think it's a great deal for $97. And if you sign up with me, I will receive a commission. So I just want to put that out there. To wrap things up, you know what they say, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is now. Same goes for getting ready for this phase of life. So come and join us next week at the Chaos to Calm Summit. When you sign up, you're going to get all of the updates that you need in order to be able to view all of these speakers, to listen to them and watch them. And yeah, let's figure it out together. So until next time, take care. And I want to encourage you that steps today make a big difference tomorrow. I hope to see you inside. If you have any questions at all about the summit, feel free to email me, grace@organizewithgrace.com. Thanks for listening.